We are going to put together the largest peaceful protest in the history of this nation.
Once I found out about Bayard Rustin, I was able to know myself.
Is a personal hero to you, but for most people who'll be watching this movie, unsung is an understatement.
It's pretty much eradicated and erased.
Completely.
Yeah, because he was openly gay, and he didn't fit the mold of the civil rights movement.
Actor Colman Domingo, at 54, is finally stepping into the role of a lifetime, reintroducing himself and the legendary civil rights activist he plays, Bayard Rustin, to the world.
We demand the withholding of federal funds from all programs in which discrimination exists.
It's a film about honoring the spirit of organizers, and it's sexy and it's fun and it's witty. It's not a dusty old history piece.
There, the man just behind Martin Luther King Jr. is Bayard himself, the subject of Rustin, a film running hot with Oscar buzz, not only for Domingo's acting.
What they really want to destroy is all of us coming together and demanding this country change.
But also for Grammy-winning artist Lenny Kravitz's original song, Road to Freedom.
I mean, it was meant to be, you know. They wanted me to write an original song for the movie, and I immediately heard my mother's voice say, "Do this."
On August 28th, black, white, young, old, rich, working class, poor will descend on Washington, D.C.
It's Domingo's first ever leading role in a feature film. Hard-earned after 30 years in theater, film, and television, like in his Emmy-winning role in HBO's Euphoria.
But haven't you heard, man? Revolutions are no longer radical.
Now, he's depicting the struggle Rustin, an openly gay man, faced in the 1960s, a time when his skin color and sexuality were under attack, while trying to organize the largest civil rights march on Washington in history.
For decades, the NAACP has been legally leading the charge, and now you're proposing 100,000 black folks invade Washington, D.C.
The film, executive produced in part by former President Barack and First Lady Michelle Obama.
He said, on behalf of President Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, we would be honored if you would be our Bayard. And man, all I could say was thank you. And I think it was a deeper thank you than most thank yous. Like, thank you for giving me this opportunity, because I know how significant it is. Barack Obama told me, he said, there would be no Barack Obama if there was no Bayard Rustin.
I'm the one that's been preaching passive resistance since before you were born.
The Call, the start of a new milestone in Domingo's career, after films like Zola, If Beale Street Could Talk, to hit shows like Fear the Walking Dead.
How do I know? Because I'm a closer.
To be able to take that leading role after decades in this game, did it feel like a break?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Because, listen, I've always been the supporting actor, the character actor, the utility actor. Maybe I just thought that, like, well, that's what I do.
Another man preserving the story, Rustin's surviving partner, Walter Nagel.
And this is where some of the after-hours planning took place.
The keeper of an eternal flame for his lover's legacy. We met up in the apartment they used to share.
He had, 25, 30 years before that, organizing for human rights and civil liberties around the world.
Rustin traced his activism and pacifism to his Quaker roots. Even after traveling to India in the 1940s to study Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolence, he was still arrested several times and even beaten by police during his peaceful protests.
Who was Bayard to you growing up?
I was 19 years old. Bayard Rustin's name came up. I was like, wait, what? Some openly gay man in 1963 organized the March on Washington? How's that possible? As this closeted young man sitting in this, that probably was the last time I was closeted. I was sitting here listening to this because I was like really trying to figure out who I was and how to navigate the world.
Do this, Martin. Own your power.
The film, also diving into the friendship and challenges Rustin had with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
He was really the one person that had a sense of how you translate the philosophy of nonviolence into action on the ground. And so he became really a key advisor to Dr. King.
At times, Rustin's identity as a gay man was at odds with King's pastoral image. But the two eventually joined forces to bring the 1963 March on Washington to life. It became an unprecedented event in American history. 250,000 people are estimated to have gathered for a peaceful protest in the nation's capital, demanding the United States fulfill its promise of equality for all. It was on that day Dr. Martin Luther King delivered one of his most powerful, towering feats of oratory.
I have a dream. My poor little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
And it was Bayard Rustin who led the charge to make the event happen.
He had a very strategic mind. He was very detail-oriented.
The man who organized this whole thing, Mr. Bayard Rustin.
Rustin spoke with NIGHTLINE 20 years after the March on Washington.
I think one of the most grievous errors that we are now making is to further demoralize and frustrate Black Americans and poor people.
He remained committed to the fight for justice until his death in 1987 at the age of 75. His story also inspiring renowned musician Lenny Kravitz.
What did you know about Bayard Rustin's story before you were even approached for this project?
I knew the name. I didn't know all of the actions. I knew that if I didn't know about it, there's a whole lot of folks that don't know about it. Bayard Rustin was the people. He was the movement. This song had to not only embody Mr. Rustin as a human being, but it had to embody the people, the cause, the action.
We're on the road to freedom.
So who does the heavy lifting for you?
On a chilly New York day in Chelsea, we visited the neighborhood where Rustin lived.
Good to see you.
Walter,
His story, well known to the people living there.
I was a real fan of Bayard Rustin.
Were you?
Yeah, I knew he lived here, so.
Yeah.
Walter, when you actually saw Colman take it on, was there any moment during that movie you could actually say, that's my Bayard?
Well, I think certainly the scene in Dr. King's home with the kids interacting with the children and singing.
Jesus is the light. I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the Bayard that I knew, and that's not the Bayard that a lot of people saw because of the spirit and the humor and all of that.
To be honest, I was a little nervous. It's tricky playing a real person, and you want to make sure that you can do your work as an actor and be clear and just really work really hard.
I want to thank everybody for coming.
In 2018, Nagel helped unveil a plaque honoring Rustin in the neighborhood. Rustin's home in Chelsea, New York City, was declared a historic place in 2016, 3 years after he was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Obama in 2013.
He took a lot of hits, but he never gave up.
Their love story, full of challenges from the start, as an interracial and same-sex couple. While marriage wasn't an option for them during Rustin's life, he was able to legally adopt the 33-year-old Nagel, so his partner could inherit his estate. They were together for a decade before Rustin's death in 1987.
Do you remember the first time you actually met Bayard?
Absolutely. It was kind of an electric moment. I was getting ready to leave New York to move to San Francisco, and we were waiting on the corner and looked at each other and never made it to San Francisco.
What do you miss the most about him?
Oh, his spirit, his liveliness, his joy in living.
People don't get their flowers while they're alive. We should be giving gratitude and love.
You said you stand on the shoulders of Bayard Rustin.
Mm-hmm. Those are some great shoulders to stand upon. We're in service to the people who've laid the groundwork for us. But you got to know who did the work for you. You didn't just wake up and suddenly these liberties are yours. You got to know who fought and died for you.
Our thanks to Ashen. Rustin is streaming now on Netflix. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.